You already know what you should say no to. You've known for a while. You keep saying yes anyway. It's not that you don't know how to set a boundary. Truth is, something underneath the boundary keeps moving it. Until you look at that something directly, no communication script in the world will hold the line for you. Welcome to Daily Power Boost. I'm Shawn Michael. This isn't a podcast about pushing harder or fixing yourself. It's a space to see clearly how your experience is actually being created. Each episode offers a simple shift in understanding. Not a tactic, not a hustle. A clearer view of thought, identity, and the patterns you've been living inside. Because when misunderstanding drops, relief rises. Energy returns. You move forward with calm, sovereign clarity. This is your Daily Power Boost. Welcome back to Daily Power Boost. Last time we talked about receiving, how the identity built for pursuit struggles to inhabit what the pursuit was supposed to earn. Today, we look at the other side of that same coin. Whether it's struggling to accept what's good or to protect what's yours, both come from the same root. A self-concept that hasn't fully authorized its own worth. One shows up as deflecting what comes in, the other shows up as not protecting what's already there. Same root, different expression. The answer to both is found in the same place. Let me tell you about a season where I watched my own boundary dissolve in real time. There was a professional relationship that had started to cost more than it returned. Not dramatically, the way these things rarely are. Just a slow, consistent drain on time, energy, and attention that could have gone somewhere else. And I knew it. I'd known it for months. Every time I got close to addressing it directly, something pulled me back. Not a fear of conflict exactly. Something quieter and more specific than that. A belief I hadn't fully named yet. That ending or limiting this relationship would confirm something I didn't want confirmed. That I wasn't as needed as I thought, or that my standards were too high. Or even that good relationships require this kind of accommodation, so I just needed to adjust. The boundary wasn't failing due to my lack of words. It was failing because the belief underneath it kept rewriting the terms. So what exactly is a boundary at the identity level? Rather than a line you draw between yourself and another person, it's a declaration of what you believe you're worth. Which means a boundary is only as strong as the self-concept holding it. When you believe at a deep level that your worth is conditional, that you have to earn your place, justify needs, or stay useful in order to stay valued, the boundary will get negotiated away before it's ever spoken. You're not weak. The belief is doing its job, keeping you in a position that feels congruent with how you see yourself, even when that position is costing. This is why the communication scripts don't hold. You can learn the exact words, practice the tone, and rehearse the conversation. In the moment, when the pressure is real and the relationship is in front of you, the belief overrides the script every time. Because beliefs run deeper than language, and they always have the final word. Here's what a boundary actually looks like when it's working, and it's probably not what you think. It doesn't require a conversation every time, because it isn't primarily communicated through words. It's communicated through the consistency of how you show up, what you make time for, what you don't, what you engage with, what you let pass, what you're willing to revisit, and what's simply not on the table. People feel that kind of boundary before it's ever articulated. It's not coldness or rigidity, it's clarity. And clarity genuinely held changes the dynamic without requiring confrontation, because the people in your life are always reading your self-concept, even when they don't know that's what they're doing. When the belief underneath the boundary shifts, the boundary stops being something you have to enforce. It becomes something you simply embody. That's the difference between a boundary as a skill and a boundary as an expression of who you are. Your one question today: think of a boundary you keep setting and watching dissolve, a line you draw that somehow keeps moving. Now look underneath the boundary itself and ask, what would I have to believe about my own worth for this boundary to hold naturally without effort, guilt, or a need to justify it? Because the gap between that belief and what you currently hold, it's not a communication problem. It's your next piece of identity work, and it's more specific than most people will ever get. If you've been setting the same boundary repeatedly and watching it fail, your script isn't the problem. Your belief is. And finding that belief precisely is something to explore on a clarity call. Check the show notes for the link. Next time, pressure. The moment that reveals everything the inner work was supposed to prepare you for, how you show up when it's real, when the stakes are high, when the comfortable version of yourself isn't available. That's our next episode. With strength and heart, I'm Shawn Michael. Stay close.
Thanks for tuning in to Daily Power Boost. Ignite your potential. Remember, transformation starts with action. So take today's insight, make it your own, and awaken your inner potential. Because remember, greatness begins within. Catch you tomorrow for your next Power Boost.